Hey guys, what is going on? This is Wrestlelamia, back with another episode. It's the last Raw of 2019, but the WWE looks to finish the year with some big matches as well as a wedding. Join us now as Wrestlelamia analyzes Raw and looks at the wildest news stories and rumors you need to know. The good. You can't go wrong with a brawl. It's almost impossible to go wrong with a brawl, which is why tonight's melee between the AOP, Seth Rollins, and the new team of Kevin Owens and Samoa Joe got off to a good start. Granted, the show tanked immediately afterwards, but Wrestlelamia calls the good with the bad. Charlotte's out to prove herself. Charlotte has been in a bit of a rut lately, so it was a smart move having her cut a promo stating she's out to prove why she's called the Queen, putting herself into the 2020 Women's Royal Rumble. Will Flair win, or will this be the start of a losing streak? Either way, it's a good way to get fans talking about the Rumble. Previewing next week's show. The WWE rarely lets fans know what to expect on Raw, but tonight's announcement of Brock Lesnar's return, as well as 2 title matches, was a good way to get fans tuning in for the first Raw of 2020. Although those who sat through tonight's show probably feel the show itself was a good reason not to tune in next week. The bad. Old habits die hard. While the opening segment with Samoa Joe saving Kevin Owens from Seth Rollins and the AOP was good, the WWE is falling into its old habit of opening its shows with talk segments. While the days of 20-minute Shane McMahon opening monologues are thankfully gone, history has shown that the fans like some variety in their WWE TV, and the Red brand needs to keep from falling back into these predictable openings where someone cuts a promo, gets interrupted, and it's Rumble time. How not to get someone over? For someone who's supposed to be a wrestling genius, Paul Heyman has an odd way of trying to get wrestlers over. Rumor has it that Raw's executive director wants to get Aleister Black and Buddy Murphy over, among other stars, but having Murphy job to Black again isn't the way to do it. No more than Heyman's head-scratching habit of pitting wrestlers he's supposedly pushing in squash matches week after week. Wrestlelamia is giving Paul E the benefit of the doubt by saying everything ultimately has to go through Vince McMahon, but Paul has to take the blame as well as the accolades. In this case, Murphy is quickly becoming a job guy, and while the matches are entertaining, the wins aren't helping Black, and they're certainly hurting Murphy. Same old song and dance. Liv Morgan fans are glad to see she's on her way back into the ring, but could the WWE have made any less of an effort than they seem to be doing with her promos? Aleister Black cuts promos talking about how the competition is weak. The AOP do the same thing for weeks before debuting. Not to be outdone, Sheamus runs down the competition talking about how weak they are, and now Liv Morgan is doing the same. Is the WWE writing team that creatively bankrupt that they're recycling the same promos now? Having Liv cut these promos for weeks only to crash Lana and Lashley's wedding makes it even more confusing. Exposing your own mistakes. The WWE did a tremendous job shooting themselves in the foot tonight, with the Street Profits reminding fans just how stupid the OC's name is. Think about it for a moment. The WWE comes with a lame name for Styles, Anderson, and Gallows, works to build them up, and then has the Street Profits remind the fans that AJ and Company's team name is the same as a Fox teen drama. Throw in Ricochet jobbing to Andrade, and you have a show that demonstrates why we shouldn't recycle, at least not TV scripts. The downright ugly. The term show is often overused, but tonight the WWE worked hard to earn it, as tonight's episode was one of the worst in recent memory. After starting off with a decent brawl between Seth Rollins and the AOP versus Samoa Joe and Kevin Owens, the show quickly went downhill. Fans tuning into tonight's episode could just as well have turned into past shows with Rowan squashing a jobber, the OC having a meaningless verbal exchange with the Street Profits, and Natalya doing the time-honored tradition for whomever the WWE wanted to put over this week. Becky Lynch's promo brought back flashbacks of Vince Russo in WCW, with the man's worked shoot being a cheap way to attempt to get over her Royal Rumble match with Asuka rather than relying on their shared history. Add in the bizarre twist to the Lashley-Lana angle of Liv Morgan proclaiming her love for Lana, and you have another example of why different isn't always good. Ringside News posted a picture of Raw's empty sections, nothing unusual for the WWE or even AEW at times, but there are going to be more empty sections in 2020. PW Insider reported, Vince McMahon, Kevin Dunn, and Triple H are not in attendance tonight at the final Raw of the decade in Hartford, Connecticut, PW Insider has confirmed. Raw Executive Director Paul Heyman and WWE Vice President of Global Television Production Michael Manzuri are running tonight's taping. John Laurinaitis has been running rehearsals. We're told Michael Hayes appears to be the lead producer of the matches tonight. While next week's Raw looks good on paper, fans should know by now not to trust the WWE. Tonight's show was downright ugly, and there's no reason it had to be like this. News. Reason number 209 why Vince McMahon doesn't have a clue. Vince McMahon has made many questionable booking decisions, one of which The New Day revealed to fans during their podcast, The New Day Feel the Power. During the show, The New Day discussed Vince's idea for assembling Xavier Woods, Kofi Kingston, and Big E, and their reaction. He said that I really thought the people were going to cheer for this thing. So all of us started laughing, because there's no way people are going to cheer 3 positivity preaching preachers in this day and age. You know what I'm saying? In this day and age, nobody's coming to wrestling shows to cheer for something religious, anything really. We all started laughing. He said, no, I'm really serious. I thought that this was going to be something that the people were going to get behind. We're like, oh my god, he's the only one who actually thought this was going to be an accepted dynamic, you know what I mean? I'm glad we got to do it though. The Enforcer is all elite. AEW announced that Arn Anderson is now working for the promotion as Cody Rhodes' advisor and head coach. To wrap AEW's inaugural year, Cody today announced that the legendary wrestler Arn Anderson will be Cody's personal advisor and head coach for the 2020 season, starting with New Year's Day's Dynamite in Jacksonville, Florida. Anderson is scheduled to be in Cody's corner during AEW's homecoming show on 1 January as Rhodes battles Darby Allin. How long do you think it'll be before Arn turns on Cody? Be sure to leave your comments below. CM Punk returns to WWE backstage on... CM Punk took to social media today to reveal when he'll be gracing the fans with his presence on WWE backstage. Wrestling's #1 Snark tweeted, "I'll be there on the 21st so you can report on the dumb shit I say." Punk's last appearance didn't do much for Backstage's ratings, so it'll be interesting to see how the show does with and without him. At least Fox is being smart about letting fans know when they can see him. UFC legend criticizes CM Punk. Speaking of Punk, UFC legend Frank Mir wasn't too happy when he learned CM Punk was jumping from the WWE into a fight in the UFC, undoubtedly the premier MMA league today. During a chat with Chris Van Vliet, Mir said, "I was upset when CM Punk got to have a UFC fight for his debut. Well, if all of a sudden my first ever pro wrestling match I jumped into AEW or WWE, they'd say, what an asshole. So just on my name, I jump out there. I'm not going to look very good. I'm not going to do a great job. And what does that say to all the guys who have worked? Have wrestled for 50 fucking bucks, you know? I mean, like, it's kind of a spit in their face." To his credit, Mir has backed up his comments as seen earlier this year when he competed in indie promotion Game Changer Wrestling, battling former UFC star and former NWA World Heavyweight Champion Dan Severn. Rey Mysterio comments on The Fiend. The Fiend has a lot of people talking, ranging from fans to WWE superstars. However, what does the WWE's resident masked man Rey Mysterio think of Bray Wyatt's sinister side? In an interview with Sportskeeda, Mysterio praised Wyatt. "I think he's a genius. He's a genius. It's in his roots, his blood. He's 3rd generation along with his brother, but he's making a legacy of his own. He's very motivated and knows where he's going and what he's doing with his character." Are AEW and New Japan working together? One of the biggest questions surrounding AEW was whether the promotion would form a relationship with New Japan Pro Wrestling, where several AEW stars such as Kenny Omega, the Young Bucks, and Chris Jericho worked. However, New Japan seems to have soured on Omega and the Young Bucks, perhaps concerned with losing the stars to the new promotion. Now fans are wondering whether the two promotions might form a working arrangement, much as AEW has with Mexico's AAA promotion. The reason why is that Chris Jericho is appearing at New Japan's Wrestle Kingdom Super Show, battling New Japan star Hiroshi Tanahashi with a stipulation that Tanahashi gets an AEW title shot should he defeat Le Champion. However, Brian Alvarez seems to doubt this will happen, explaining on Wrestling Observer Live that, "What I can tell you about all of this is that to the absolute best of my knowledge from talking to a lot of people, zero has changed in the AEW New Japan relationship. With New Japan running a promotion in the US, it's understandable why they may be hesitant to work with AEW, but they could be missing out on a big opportunity for epic intercompany shows, including the possibility of an invasion angle." R-Truth's big achievement. Wrestlelamia would like to congratulate R-Truth on winning the 24/7 championship 29 times, at least of this writing. By the time you're watching this, he could be a 35-time champion, surpassing Raven's 27 reigns as hardcore champion. While it's no world champion, it's still good to see wrestling's Sunshine Superman getting some accolades for the years of entertaining the WWE Universe and Vince McMahon, who loves R-Truth's ability to make him laugh. Well guys, there you have it, the good, the bad, and the ugly from the 30 December edition of Raw, as well as the wildest news stories and rumors you need to know. What did you think of this week's show? Be sure to leave your comments, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel, follow us on Instagram and Twitter, and I'll see you next time for some more wrestling content.